Okay, sure.
So I'll just in conclusion, I'll just take 3 minutes. I'll just conclude.
Please take as much time as you like, because we'd like to hear your own views also on and suggestions. Yes, please.
That definitely I'll do in the next session, sir. I'm not taking much time because it's already 8 o'clock. So we have exceeded that time limit. So in conclusion, that we have identified few problems, and we also identified certain pattern which is relating to the problem of caste marginalization. The first one, I would say, is that it is the existence of a particular pattern of culture or cultural format that is existing in India. And that culture is the culture of hierarchy. That culture is the culture of graded inequality, which is existing. That has caused this discriminatory experiences. And the culture also doesn't feel that they are shameful or they have to be, guilty discriminatory experiences. So the first aspect is this: it is the existence of a hierarchical culture, a culture which discriminates, and a culture which doesn't consider all human beings to be being with dignity, equal dignity. The first problem. And the second problem is those values which is generated by this cultural setting. And the most predominant values which is existing in this particular cultural setup is the value of violence, oppression, and monopoly. So we must understand that this particular culture is not supporting the value of equality, liberty, fraternity, but rather it is supporting the values of violence, oppression, and monopoly, and they are glorifying these values. They use multiple strategies for the same, as indicated by Sunny M. Kapikade, even through folk stories, folk songs, and up to the Vedic scriptures or the religious scriptures, you would say. The third thing is that how this culture and the dominant values are institutionalized. So though we have a constitution and we have a constitutional scheme to create institutions for the purpose of executing the values which the constitution consider to be the predominant values. So we have institutionalization. Definitely institutionalization from a legal perspective is based on constitution. From that, the next aspect comes in, the functioning of the institution. And how is this institution functioning in real life? So it is here we could see that the first two aspects, that is culture and values, indirectly operating, bypassing the constitutional values that should be the primary value for organizing our society. So upon the functioning level, the culture and values do play a major role in realizing. The next aspect I would like to emphasize is effects. So what are the effects which this kind of institutional functioning actually realizing in the society? And the effects is pathetic. That is what Dalit marginalized or caste marginalized experiences shows. And I would say that this discussions would definitely have shown that these experiences would open up the eyes and minds of those people if they do have a very neutral stand on these issues. And also they inculcate the constitutional values that we cherish. And finally, the last aspect that we need to focus is, what are the solutions then? That is the most difficult aspect that we need to explore further. And we might not have come up with any solutions for the same. But I would say that this is the most important thing. And we must examine and we must think aloud for finding out as many solutions as possible. Because this is a very complex issue. And we may not have a single issue or single solution for the same. So some people will think that, there could be a panacea for resolving these issues. Definitely not. Because it is a very complex, multi-layered, multi-dimensional problem that cannot be resolved with a single solution. So the thing is that There need to be multiple solutions at multiple levels, at multiple time, and at multiple spaces. And so we need to find out what are those combination of solutions that is required for the purpose of realizing those constitutional ideals that we have advanced, and which is the primary principle for organizing our society, which is still lacking. We must emphasize that equality, liberty, and fraternity is the primary rule. And if you have a conception of human being who is having a dignity across the board, then you cannot think about a graded equality conception and such an organization of the society. And I must say that this should be an eye-opener. And courts, particularly being a constitutional institution, court is not created through the mouth or eyes or legs of any being. Courts are constituted by the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. And definitely, the court function is determined by the constitutional principles, and the personnel who is occupying the court has to play not a personal role, but an institutional role. And there is no role for the personality to play there. And the court has to play an institutional role, which is clearly defined by the Constitution. And there is no other way other than understanding the Constitution first and advancing the Constitution in the forefront to realize the goals of egalitarian society. With this, I conclude. I thank everyone who has participated in this webinar and presentation, particularly Dr. Mohan Gopal sir, and also the viewers who has been here and who is viewing through the YouTube channel as well. We have extended our time, and we are very sorry for that. It is due to the technical problems that we had in the beginning. And with this, I think we can conclude. Thank you.